Hi everyone, welcome to our next video, what is adding and subtracting terms. And from last lesson you should know that term is number or a letter or a number multiplied by a letter. So for x squared, 2y, they terms. So today we'll be adding them and subtracting them. Okay, we have Annie here. And Annie is going to the shop, right? And she wants to get a few bananas and a few apples in the shop. She bought 5 apples and 4 bananas. She went back home and she wanted to put all her fruit in the fruit bowl. But in the fruit bowl, she had few apples and few bananas already. She had 3 apples and 2 bananas, and she bought 5 apples and 4 bananas. So now we need to count how many apples and how many bananas she has now. We can only add apples to apples and bananas to bananas. We cannot add these, right? So how many apples do we have? We have 3 plus 5. So we have 8 apples. 2 plus 4, we have 6 bananas. Okay, so we have our Annie. And now 3 apples plus 5 apples, that gives you 8 apples. And the same with bananas, so we have 2 bananas plus 4 bananas equals 6 bananas. But in maths, as you know, we use symbols. We don't write down full sentences, okay? So instead of writing down apples, bananas, pears, chickens, birds, whatever, we can just write down the first letter. So 3a plus 5a equals 8a, and 2b plus 4b equals 6b, okay? So now she has 8 apples and 6 bananas, okay? So she has 8 apples plus 6 bananas in her fruit bowl. Let's try the next question. What is 3f plus 2d plus f plus d plus 2f? And our job is to simplify. And simplify, this is the next keyword, and that means make it simpler by adding, subtracting, multiplying or dividing. So make it simpler and make it shorter, okay? Right? So we have 3 fish, 2 dogs, 1 fish, plus 1 dog, and plus 2 fish. Okay, so every time you need to simplify it, you have addition and subtraction. You can, instead of letters, you can imagine you have animals or fruit or any kind of objects, okay? So we can only add or subtract the same object, okay? The same object. So we need to group them first. So all fish together and or dogs together. And now we can write it down. We have 3 fish plus 1 fish plus 2 fish, and then plus 2 dogs plus 1 dog. Okay, so D means 1D, 1 dog. And now we can count how many fish and how many dogs we have all together. Okay, so 3 fish, 1 fish, and 2 fish. So we have 6f plus, and now we have 2d, it's positive 2d and 1d, so 3d, and the answer is 6f plus 3d as it is in here, okay? So as you know, we can only add the same objects, the same letters, okay? This is algebra rule number 1. You need to take it down and you need to remember it by heart. Okay, so let's try these simple examples. First of all, we have 2c plus 5c minus 4c. So 2 cats plus 5 cats minus 4 cats. So this is 7c minus 4c, and the answer is 3c. Done. And the next one, we have letter E and letter C. So let's imagine we have elephants and sheep. Okay, so it's very helpful when you underline the same terms, the same like terms, or the same letters. So we have 8e minus 3e minus 5e, and that gives us 8 minus 3 is 5, and minus 5 at 0, so we don't have e at all. Now minus 4s plus 5s, and that give us 1s, or just s. Okay, done. Okay, so let's try the next 3 ones, and as you can see, we have powers in here. The first one is x squared plus x squared plus x squared, and you need to notice x squared is not the same as x. X squared is x multiplied by x, and it's different than x, so this is different term. We cannot add x and x squared or x to the power of 3. We can add only like terms, so x squared plus x squared and plus x squared equals 3x squared. Okay, so it's like we have one xylophone, and one xylophone. We have 3 xylophones altogether. Okay, then look at the next one. So we have 4 ab squared minus 2b squared a. When you see ab squared, this is the same as b squared a. Okay, we have multiplication between a and b, and we have multiplication in here. So this is the same as we were talking about it in the last video. Okay, so remember, if we have a multiplied by b, this is the same as b multiplied by a, and the same b squared is here. So these terms are like, they have the same letters, the order is not important. So 4 minus 2, we have 2ab squared, or you can write down 2b squared a. This is the same as this is multiplication, okay? And the last one in here, we have p squared minus 4p plus p to the power of 3 minus 2p squared minus 5p. So p squared and minus 2p squared, they're like terms, okay? So we need to look at letters to the same power. If they have different powers, they're not like, okay? We cannot add them up. So p squared minus 2p squared. And the answer is minus 1p squared, or just minus p squared. The next one, minus 4p minus 5p. So minus 9p p. Okay, and then we have plus p to the power of 3. And we cannot do anything with it, just leave it, p to the power of 3. Okay, so we can add or subtract only like terms, so the terms with the same letter to the same power. So let's write down the rule number 2. So for the end, make sure you have all the questions into your copy, 2 rules into your copy, so be prepared for tomorrow. So you need to know that we can only add or subtract terms that have the same letter or letters, and they called like, and they have the same power, okay, and powers do not change. So see you tomorrow.